absolute favorite video of the year. Hi, I'm Cass, and this will have been my 4th year of bullet journaling, and not to set your expectations too high, but this year has definitely been my best year journaling in terms of my art quality and the overall aesthetic of each month. And I've consistently shocked myself with how much I love how my cover pages look, especially my April and May. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. Hello and welcome to my bullet journal flip through for 2021. This year it took up 3 different journals. Now the first 2 are filled and the last one only has 1 month in it. So let me move these out of the way and let's get started flipping through my yellow journal. Now this journal contains September 2020 all the way through March 2021. So here's my beautiful cover page with my name and my phone number, and then my year at a glance with 2020 on the left and 2021 on the right with January through June. Books read, this was 2020, and then here's where 2021 started. Birthday tracker, so beautiful, and I say that sarcastically because this is ugly. What is this calligraphy? What is this? What is the color choice? This bright, obnoxious coral? No. And then now I'm going to go ahead and flip to my January cover page. Now, this month's theme was Victorian steampunk, and it's kind of hard to see because I did use a gold gel pen, but if I tilt it, you can kind of see all kind of like the swirls that were inspired by the Victorian era, as well as a quote on the left side that says, "My goal in 2021 is to accomplish the goals set in 2020, which I should have done in 2019 because I made a promise in 2018, which I had planned back in 2017. So that was quite cute. And then my calendar, I experimented with gluing in different scrapbook paper for the black to write on top of, which worked okay until the seam here. You can see they kind of did not like that. So this is my health tracker. I have my mood and my habits. Again, with gluing in scrapbook paper to write on top of. I really like the look of these indented pages. And then you're not gonna be able to see anything on these pages, but this is actually where I journal write. So I have each day separated out and I'll just write a small little journal entry in between each month. So that's what, if any pages are super blurred, that is why. Next is my February. Now this month theme was Pokemon starters, and for my cover page, I chose my favorite starter of each type across multiple games. So Chikorita is my favorite grass type, Froakie is my favorite water type, and Cyndaquil is my favorite fire type. I wrote February across in the Pokemon font and then I wrote all the way from Bulbasaur to Torterra in Pokemon names. So that was quite a lot of them. I really love my calendar. It's super cute. It's just a simple Pokedex with the calendar on top, and then this says February in the unknown Pokemon writing. My water type starters. Yeah, that happened, so this page is empty. My mood and habit. I did different Pokeballs. And grass type Pokemon, and then my to-do list had a bunch of gym badges. And I didn't do weeklies, I actually did to-do lists because I've tried weeklies, but once I got out of high school, they just really didn't work for me. So I ended up doing these to-do lists where it was just a running to-do of things I needed to do before I switched over to actually planning my week in Notion. These are such fun pages. So this is just a Happy Valentine's Day post that I did on Instagram. And then this was a love language collab hosted by Coffee Bean Journals and Little Bujo over on Instagram. And I love this little drawing. I found a reference photo, and it is just the cutest, especially since grass types are my favorite Pokemon. And just so precious. And I really love how these pages turned out. I love these bubble letters. I've really got to use them again. They're so fun. On the left-hand side, it's a quote, says, "Love is all about who lands the first punch," with Misty, who is the person who says that quote. I love Misty. She has such a fiery, red-headed spirit. And on the right-hand side, I have May and Torchic, and Pokemon Sapphire was the first game I ever played, which is why I drew May, And then Torchic was the first starter I ever chose. And this says thank you for 150 on YouTube and 300 on Instagram, which is so fun to look back on because now I nearly have 1,000 on Instagram and I have over 1,000 people following me on YouTube, which is so exciting. And I'm just so grateful for anyone who chooses to watch my videos. On the left-hand side is my playlist tracker. I love this little trainer girl and I colored her all in pink with some reddish brown hair to represent how I looked at the time. And then inside each Pokeball, I put either a playlist or a song or album. And then I did my favorite song over here. And then same deal with my content tracker, except for this time it was either YouTubers I was watching, movies I watched, or TV series I watched. And then this one was another one that was just fun for Instagram. And it says Trainer Cass. So this is basically a overview of all the Pokemon games I've played: Sapphire, Ruby, Heart Gold, White, Platinum, X, and Sun, the ones I've completed, all the starters I've used, the names I've used, which have been Courtney, Liz, Cassie, Cameron, V, and Tetra, then other Pokemon games I played, and then the total amount of hours per game, and then the hours total, which was 386 hours and 8 minutes total of me spending time in the Pokemon universe, which is crazy. And that doesn't even include like Pokemon Go. For March, I thought it was very fitting to do a Brotherband theme. So Brotherband is a companion series to The Ranger's Apprentice, which is my favorite book series ever. And since March is my birthday month, I thought how appropriate to do something from the universe that I love. So I did a map colored on the right-hand side and then a quote on the left. I really enjoyed using this font. It was very out there and I used gray fine liner for it as well, which is different. Then my health tracker, I finally stopped tracking my water intake and instead just did my mood and sleep. This page was really fun. I really miss doing playlist pages. I should go back to doing those. They look so pretty. I did just a silhouette of a character and then what they said. Oh, this made me fall in love with drawing maps. I mean, look at the amount of details. It's so beautiful. This was inspired by a map found in the Dutch versions of Ranger's Apprentice series, and it's so gorgeous. Like, look at these details over here. Ah, love it. And then again, for my content tracker, I just did a little silhouette and a quote they say, including movies I watched, YouTubers, and TV shows. And then this is when I first started experimenting, adding like scrapbook memory pages. So this is when I bought a car. I wanted to kind of commemorate the big achievement. I added a little Polaroid picture of me next to my car and a little description of what went down that day and then the type of car that I've got. And then another more scrapbooky page, and this was for my 19th birthday. I love this font. Oh my goodness. And then I added a little Polaroid of my friends, gifts I got, and then a little description of how our day went. And then this was another solely for Instagram page. It's kind of a little introduction saying who I am, the fact that I am obsessed with Ranger's Apprentice, and just different little facts about me that were accurate for 2021. And that is it in my yellow journal. So we're going to go ahead and close this sucker up and move on to my favorite journal I have ever created, and it's this one right here. Now, this is a chonky boy, okay? Look at how thick. This thing is holding together barely. Here's a little comparison to the journal I just showed you. And then if I actually undo this right here, it springs open like nobody's business. So it is packed full of so many awesome things, and I'm so excited to flip through. So I have my name and my phone number. An essential thing for all of these journals because they are the most precious things that I own. This was my year at a glance page. Isn't it beautiful? Very highly detailed. It's the pencil of saying year at a glance for me. And then same with my birthday trackers. Beautiful, I know. And then the spread I actually did make for beginning of the year was for my books read. So this is accurate all the way up through November. Very fun. And then comes the start of an era, and that era is bookish maps. Now this map is from Shadow and Bone, specifically the King of Scars duology, and I still cannot believe that I sat here for 10 hours drawing this. Like, the insane amount of details. Let me just show you kind of up close and personal here what these spreads look like. I'm in love. Yes, I drew it myself, and yes, I'm ogling over my own art, but I'm just so impressed that April me, I think she was built different, I tell you what. Anyway, moving on, or else we're gonna be here all day. So like I said, this was based off of the Shadow and Bone book series, and I decided on this theme because the Shadow and Bone Netflix show had come out, so very exciting. Okay, these pages are taped together because they were my original highlights and to-do pages, but they were so daggum ugly that I had to redo them, and now they look so much prettier. This was a thoughts on Shadow and Bone page, so I had my favorite moments, my reactions, I watched it with my sister, and just an overall summary of how I felt about the show. Another scrapbooky page, which was prom. I actually already graduated high school by this point, but my friend used her +1 to give me a senior prom since COVID canceled mine. This was a Instagram post planner for my craft account that obviously didn't happen. This was a quote page I had planned, and I had planned the quote on the back of a gas station receipt, so see how beautiful it turned out. See, I'm not perfect when it comes to my bullet journal. I have the empty pages that I had planned to do things for. Playlist of my life was for a collab on Instagram, and then this comfort movies, I'm pretty sure I just made to fill something here, but it's still cute to look back on, and I still love all of these movies, especially these three, especially these two, especially this one. I love The Devil Wears Prada. That is my favorite movie of all time. I love it. And then once again, April and May cast was built different because this is my May cover page. Again, with the excessive amount of details, how the heck did I spend so much bloody time on this page? But it's so beautiful, and this month was themed after the A Court of Thorns and Roses book series by Sarah J. Maas. I'm in awe. I love this so much. Moving on, or we'll just spend all day here. So for all of these themes that are based off of books, I have to like draw from different forms of inspiration. Because the cover page, obviously I can easily just do the map, but then for the rest of them, I'm pretty sure this was like inspired by the collector's edition, this was inspired by a character's tattoo, so I've got to get creative with where I draw inspiration from. And then another scrapbook page. Now this bullet journal, specifically, the reason why it is so chunky is I added a lot more photos and scrapbook paper and kind of these scrapbook-esque vibed pages. So my bullet journal kind of strayed away from the more traditional type of bullet journaling where you have like weekly planning and all that to more like a mixture of planning and scrapbook memory, because I love looking back on things. And this was for the Scarborough Renaissance Festival, which is like my favorite thing ever. It's basically just a medieval festival, and I love anything medieval, hence why I have a literal sword tattoo. So added some Polaroids in the corner, and then the next page, again with a more scrapbooky type of thing. This was my senior dance solo, so I have different shots and different pictures, as well as little just journal entries, essentially. These are my favorite pages that I make in my journal. Even though I love my cover pages so much, these are the ones that I love looking back on because I am a sucker for being nostalgic as fuck. Beautiful blank pages. This I went back to and just made. It's kind of ugly, but kind of cool. Like I can't decide. It's my playlist page. And then a beautiful blank page. An Etsy sales page that's mostly blank. Yeah, again, I'm not perfect with my bullet journal in the slightest. My June was based after the Monster Hunter video game, and you can definitely see the drop in quality with my maps. This one was fun though because I did have a lot more freedom with being more loose with my lines, and I really love the font used throughout this month. Now this month was rough because I was severely sick for like a week and a half and it zapped all my energy and motivation, but I really like drawing all these little like creatures. Now I don't actually play the Monster Hunter video game myself, but I like the aesthetic of it, and I was kind of like grasping for themes at this point, I'm not gonna lie. Then in July, I kind of bounced back because this was my Lord of the Rings setup, and again, back with the excessively tiny details. And this font, Lord of the Rings font, is probably one of my favorite. And this was the first month where I stuck with just using one specific color, and that color being this green. And I just love how this theme turned out. It ended up looking so much more cohesive than my past themes because I only used the one color and the consistent font throughout. It's so beautiful. This is when I tried to do a reading tracker. It didn't really work out, I'm not gonna lie. I posted a lot on Instagram this month too. I made a lot of pages just kind of to make pages. Cute little quote as well. And then I have my scrapbook pages for memories again. This is when we did our third 24 readathon in the summer, and I didn't tell them where we were going, I just dragged them to different locations. And I really love the composition and layout of this, and I love looking back and remembering the memories. This one as well, we met up and we actually didn't even read, we just watched burlesque. But we took pictures acting like we were reading, so. But these are my two friends at work that I talk to about books a lot. And then my last scrapbook page was when I took my first ever solo trip out of state to Tennessee to surprise one of my friends that I met at a camp 2 years ago. And it's just so pretty with this theme, oh my gosh. And then I have even more scrapbook pages because I guess in July I just did so many things. So I have when Amanda Rachley mentioned me in her story and commented on my TikTok reel. It was a reel on Instagram. But I thought that was kind of cool. It got 67,000 views in one day on this date. So I wanted to just make a little page to commemorate that because it's kind of cool. It was a Princess and the Frog audio. I'll play it here in case you're curious.
You mean to tell me this all happened because you were messing with the Shadow Man?
He was very charismatic.
Then on the right is my Lindsay Sterling concert that I went to, and my little outfit, shots from the show, the playlist that they had played, and then I did a little flip through to include photos with my mom and dad, whom I invited to the concert to go with me. My August cover page is actually from a book called Realm Breaker, which is by Victoria Aveyard. I haven't actually read the book yet, but then the rest of my bullet journal is based off of the Red Queen series. So Red Queen didn't have a map, so I just used a different Victoria Aveyard map. But I really like these designs. And again, I stuck with the one color because I really liked how it turned out last month. And I did the same sort of format with mood in the corner, little design, and then habits on top. And then I did a little event page. This is when I baked with one of my new friends. We did a little carrot cake, so I wanted to include the little recipe, outfits that I really liked that I put together this month. And then this was my first month doing kind of like an events scrapbook page where it's like a bunch of like miscellaneous events that wouldn't really get their own page, but I still wanted to include. So right here was when I went to the mall with my friends and I told them to bring their prom dresses, and we took little prom dress pictures together on the top of a parking garage for whatever reason. And then just different little events that happened, and then small just summaries about the month. And I've continued doing this, which you'll see here shortly. My September was based off of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and this was a page from the coloring book they have. I basically looked at that as a reference photo. This was so freaking hard. This was harder than my map cover page because it's a building and it has to look at least semi-symmetrical. And I think I did okay. Again, the font I used throughout, I love it. I am such a sucker for a good font, and I have been my entire life. I love just recreating really cute and aesthetic fonts. Again, I used the one color throughout. This time it was purple. Then this kind of is a homage to my quick descent into being a K-pop fan. So I have the 3 groups that I guess stan: Stray Kids, BTS, and ATEEZ. To be fair, right now the only people I know are Stray Kids. But I'm going to see ATEEZ in concert, so I should learn all the members, but I know a bunch of the songs, so that's fun. And then I started learning K-pop dances, and I put the ones that I've learned, and then the ones I want to learn. It's not updated, but that's besides the point. It's beautiful. And then this was when I got my first tattoos. So I obviously showed the one on my forearm here, but I also have dragons on my collarbone. And this was my first ever one. And I wanted to do their little business cards and kind of the process. I love this page so much. And this is the original 3 a.m. sketch for my Ranger's Apprentice tattoo. And it's so fun to see kind of side by side. Then this is an events wrap-up page. So these are a bunch of new places I visited with my friend Addie because we kind of explored the city I've been living in for like years for the first time, because I really am not a go out and do things. I'm a very homebody, so I just include different pictures and me learning K-pop dances, pen pal letters I've sent, and just different things I did throughout the month, and I really love looking back at these pages. My October was themed after Throne of Glass, which is another book series by Sarah J. Maas. I don't like this map as much as the other one. I think the stippling, I used a pen that was too big, and I don't like how these forest bundles turned out. They just look like a bunch of scribbles. The border, though, was a pain in the ass to get symmetrical, and I like how that looks, though. It's the only thing that is keeping this map together. This month was orange, which was perfect for October. And again, kind of using the same form of layouts. Like these especially are like the same like every month. My finance tracker and my highlights. And then again with the excessive amount of K-pop. I read a lot of books this month as well. And then this quote page, I love it so much. I have all the different characters from a certain group in the book. And then this was for a collab of your favorite book, I do believe. And I actually used my own stickers as well as Julian Doodle stickers from Peppercut Studios, but it was exciting to finally use my own stickers in my bullet journal. Like, that's so cool. Like I made these, like I drew these and they're in my journal now. It's so cool. This is when I went to the NF concert. I just included a playlist that I had put together on Spotify. Nope, I put together on Photoshop. Shots from concert as well as the people that I went with. And then this is when my friend and I did a cliche ghost photo shoot for Halloween. I loved it. It was so fun to do. And I put just 2 ghosts who don't give a shit. And then this was my events wrap up, and I included a lot of photos here. So I have like the mud race I did with my friend. That was super fun. We did not actually get that muddy, unfortunately. Selfies I really liked of myself because it's fuzzy boot season. Still am in fuzzy boot season. I redesigned some things for my YouTube. I got a really, really sweet review on my Etsy. I redid all my thumbnails. My brother helped build my PC, hung out with my friends. And then this was just me being mentioned on the Bliss Beans Instagram because I love her channel and that was really cool to be shared on her story. Now, after a super busy month in October, I kind of toned down the aggressiveness of detail for my theme. So this month was How to Train Your Dragon, and it was so much easier to set up than my other ones, and it was a nice break. I did little Celtic knots, which actually were a pain, but they look symmetrical and I'm really impressed. And this month I chose brown, and I did a sort of style that I've seen a lot of people doing where there's a lot more like line breaks as you're drawing, and it kind of creates more of a sketchy and like dainty feel to it. I was so proud of myself to actually do my habits this month. The rarity other than workout. We don't have to talk about that, okay? And then my beautiful events wrap-up page. Went to a friend's wedding, buddy read, you know, hung out with my friends at my favorite coffee shop. I was mentioned again on the Bliss Beans Instagram, so I had to include that again. That's what my phone looks like. It's taped together and no longer works, so. But that is the end of my gray journal, so we're gonna close this sucker up if I can, because it is a chunky boy. And then we're gonna move on to my very last month. And if you've made it this far into the video, let me know. I'll be curious to see how many people stay to see my entire journal. So this is my introduction page, name and phone number. Kind of did it the exact same as last journal, except for in brown this time. I need to tape these pages together still because they're not really full pages. My 2022 overview, I didn't include anything from 2021 because I don't really have the space for it, but I'll quickly flip through these. I actually have a whole video setting up these if you're curious. I filled in all of the books I read in 2021, including December this time. So that's fun. I'm actually missing a book that I need to add there. Where's the beginning of my month? There it is. All right, so again with the more toned down because I was really busy and unmotivated, but fear not, in January I have already started sketching my cover page and it looks incredible. But I did a more simple theme this month. I did blue and it was very Christmassy. I added snow to everything, so I did like a mixture of Celtic knots mixed with brave and adding snow. Obviously this month isn't completed since I'm filming it like halfway through the month, but very pretty. I connect all these dots with lines at the very end. I just like how it looks when I'm doing it throughout the month. And yeah, that is the end of my journal right here, you know? I have yet to fill in this because I haven't done any of that. That is a look at all of my 2021 bullet journal spreads. These have been through a lot, you know? Lots of emotions, lots of existential crises, and I'm so excited to continue my year into 2022. And I really hope you enjoyed seeing my themes. And if you do decide to stick around, I really hope that I am able to impress you with any themes that I do in 2022. I love how each of my journals end up becoming a time capsule that I can look back on, and I really hope that you enjoyed looking through my 2021 bullet journal with me, or I suppose bullet journals with me. If you liked the video, please do give it a like, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more bookish and bullet journaling content from me. I also have an Instagram, doodlewithcass, where I post pictures of my bullet journal, and I have an Etsy, Oakleaf Arrow Studios, where I sell art prints and stickers that you can use in your own journals. But that's all I have for now, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Toodles!